All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Anchor Up podcast. Today we have a really exciting one for everybody, and one that I'm ultra excited to learn more about, to talk to. Today we're joined by Regina Noriega. She is the founder of Everyday Sheroe, which is an NFT project that number one that has my interest peaked because I don't know much about that. I want to learn about it. But the biggest reason that I'm excited to talk to her today is because her Everyday Shero project is for veterans and first responders. So, as a veteran, I really appreciate when you see people in the community that are trying to do things to support veterans and first responders. And she gives to multiple charities, and it's going to be very exciting to talk to you today, Regina. And I appreciate you coming on. The thing we like to do is start off with tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and then what kind of got you into the space that you're in today.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for having me on your show. So excited. So, I am the founder of Everyday Sheroe. We are a Houston, Texas educational technology platform, basically a social network. And we are serving the crypto curious newbies by helping them onboard into the NFT space by providing them an online learning platform. So, an NFT is a non fungible token. And if you're not familiar with that, it's really a one of a kind digital item, like a piece of digital art, a event ticket, a collectible, a trading card, where basically the person that collects it or members of an NFT community, they can buy, own, and trade the NFT.
Okay. So that's where I get lost in NFTs. So someone can buy it, and you said own it and trade it. So forgive me for being very bottom of the ground, but is NFTs the new age of like trading cards but in a different level, or what does that mean? Like I can own it and trade it? Like that's the part that gets me lost sometimes.
So when you purchase an NFT, say it's a digital piece of digital art, like we have 10,000 NFTs in our collection, you get access to, depending if this is an NFT with a utility, you get access, for example, for Everyday Shiro, to networking opportunities, to social media training, to seminars. And yes, you can go ahead and basically buy one, you can hold it, or they call it HODL, HODL, hold on for dear life, or you can trade it on the NFT OpenSeas trading market where you can profit from it. So it just depends what you want to do with the NFT. In the case for Everyday Shiro, it's an entry to our online learning platform. When you purchase a Shiro, whether it's a first responder, a doctor, or scientist, you get access to our community and all the online learning that we've built for the members.
Gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense. I'm tracking now. Like it because I hear about it all the time, and when I've heard on other podcasts, or I have friends that are smarter than me and stuff like this with like the digital age of things, and they talk about it. I'm always like, you're buying something that you can't touch or feel, or anything like that. Like and it always threw me off. So that's what's interesting about yours is one that you can own, and one day they could be worth more, right? They appreciate as you buy them, but then at the same time it gives you access to all the tools and services that you guys offer. So what kind of things can people expect to get through buying an Everyday Shiro NFT? Like what kind of services or opportunities does that open them up to, like in specific realms?
So we are really in the friends and family. It's called an allow list. We are onboarding each member of a very small circle, the first 160 members into the platform. And what they get when they get a Shiro is they get access to networking opportunities, they get access to social events, and we're also building an entire platform of online learning, which includes how to open up a crypto wallet, how to understand a Coinbase exchange. So really, the lack of production, which is education about the crypto market, that's why I decided to create and build this platform, was because there wasn't one place or a source of truth for someone that was crypto curious to go ahead and figure out how to do something. The process of getting into the crypto world is very daunting. You have to watch 15 to 20 videos. You have to read maybe 10 articles to learn how to do one thing. And so what I wanted to do was be the source of truth for social media training, for seminars on how to get into the crypto world. And again, at the same time, fabulous networking opportunities because our members have come from incredible backgrounds in the Web 2 space, meaning they're chief marketing officers, they're top realtors, they're CMOs, they're CEOs. And so these are members that really want to learn about the crypto world, and so they're coming in and they're learning just like everyone from the ground up because the NFT world is so brand new. Okay. Even though it did about $21 billion last year in sales, it is still brand new. It's going to be
I'm
several.
uh I'm crypto scared, to be honest with you.
Yes, definitely.
I went
And
to an ATM one day just to look at it, and it said one Bitcoin, which is crypto, is like $8,000. I'm like, $1, that's like the worst exchange ratio on the planet.
I know, but you know what? If you don't owned Bitcoin like 5 years ago and had it like 2 years ago and cashed out, you probably would have done very, very well.
Oh, I wish. It's like the people, like, 25, 30 years ago that should have bought stock in Yahoo, right? A lot of
Abs-
people regret it.
Absolutely.
So going back a little bit, so as I read the About You page on your website, you came from a very, very competitive space to begin with. So I think that kind of helped you get into another competitive space. So what was it like to transition from being in beauty and cosmetics, which is very, very competitive, and having to make sure that you're at the forefront of everything because things turn there, like at the stop of a dime. Um, what made you start to look into the crypto world and then realize that it was underserved by women, and how did that even come up and make you decide to leave something you were very successful in to go try this?
Great question. So last summer, when I saw a really big project, World of Women, Board Ape Yacht Club, when I saw what they were doing, I realized there was a lack of diversity, especially in the Generation X minority women leading and creating meaningful NFT projects. So I'm not really new to NFTs. I'm about 8 to 9 months into it now. But
Mhm.
last summer, when I saw all this going on, basically lots of projects dominated by males and not enough women in it, I started really just researching and learning about the space. And I was an observer for a very long time. Okay. I knew that I had the Web 2 skills, which basically was being the former head of digital for the number one, the number one beauty and cosmetics brand on TV and e-commerce in the US. That teaches you a lot about business and strategic planning and everything that you need to do to be successful. So I had the base and foundation there. And so when I started researching the NFT space, I said, okay, I want to do a really meaningful NFT project, not just an art project, but a full project that is going to go ahead and support many audiences and also give back to certain communities. And yes, I believe that up to now, I've been the VP or a chief marketing officer for a lot of category creating brands. It all led up to this. I've been an entrepreneur in and out of my life in the many stages of my life. And so for Everyday Sheroe to be in the NFT space, it's been like since last summer, but I didn't launch until about, I would say, 3 months ago. So 12 weeks we've been in the space. So it's
Wow.
new, but not new, Matt.
Well, it's new. What I mean by so you did it smart though, and I think a lot of your background to when you say that you've been in and out of entrepreneurship your entire career to do the things that you've done and hold the positions you've held in companies and the amount of responsibility you had with a lot of money in order to get it right helped you probably realize I need to figure this out, make sure that I have a good plan in place and then launch, as opposed to someone like me that I'd probably be like, yeah, let's just do it right now. I wouldn't even, I just, let's go. But it helps to understand, what you're getting into and how you're looking at it. So in the NFT world, um, can you just talk a little bit about like that genre or that culture specifically of NFTs and kind of like, I guess, what's the process to make an NFT? What does it mean to do it? I don't know if you follow where I'm going. Like, give people a general overview of when you say NFT, what's the start to finish on how you create one of these things and how you market them, and then ultimately how people can get their hands on them.
So, my best advice for anyone that wants to start a project is to be an observer. And it's called DYOR in the crypto NFT space. DYOR stands for do your own research. And again, like I said, I was an observer for a long time because I was transitioning from a corporate role and a corporate mentality. There's a different way to work in the corporate world, but all
Yeah.
of that helped me build the project. So I was patiently in the background, listening into Twitter spaces, researching every other project that was launching from last summer till December, and at the same time, the first thing you need to do is put together a strategic plan. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they poo poo it, they want to jump in. I get it. But
That's
the
me.
NFTs, yeah, and it's okay. That's good. I admire it because a lot of people can be a lot of talk and planning and they never execute. But because of my role in a handful of companies where, again, lots of responsibility, I was super careful about doing my project and building it in stages. And so from start to finish, the entire thing that you need to go ahead and develop at the beginning is your process and your strategic plan of how you're going to do it. I knew even from last summer that I wasn't going to launch Everyday Sheroe and go ahead and launch 10,000 and sell 10,000 NFTs right away. I knew I wanted, because my mission and vision was to onboard crypto curious newbies. I knew I wanted to first prove out, let's do the first 50 members and see what their challenges are and how we can help them. Because at the same time, while I'm learning the new challenges that were not there 9 months ago, I'm able to go ahead and build the training content and the video content needed to onboard more crypto curious newbies. And so start with the plan. Don't do what everybody else is doing, because some people, they'll go hard and fast and then they'll fail, which is good because failing fast helps you succeed. But if you don't have a plan and you don't have a foundation, you're going to find that you're not going to have longevity in the space, because this space goes super, super fast. And if you aren't strategic, you're going to find yourself not in the space, if that
Well,
makes
that's
sense.
just like it's like real estate. Real estate's the same way. If you don't keep up with how it moves or how it shakes or how things are going, like you're going to be left behind. And I can see in this space where taking your time is important, but not procrastinating, if that makes sense. Like you got to still go fast. You want to learn what you got to learn. So you got to make sure that you're ahead and you're up with everybody, right? Because it's technology and technology changes very fast. So you got to move with it. So when you say is each NFT like a project in itself? So Everyday Shiro is an NFT project. So if you ever did another type, would that be a totally new project? Would it fall under the same one? So I'm kind of hearing you say project, and I want to make sure that people understand, the longevity to how this thing works. So is each time you do this a project, or can it all be under one umbrella?
So we do have plans to expand Everyday Shiro. What I guess a lot of project creators They may or may not understand this. You first start out as a project, and then when you actually start selling, you become a business because
Oh.
the project is ideation. Okay, here's my project. I'm going to go out there, start promoting it until you've actually, in my opinion, when you sell, you become a business. I've always known that this was going to be an educational technology platform. Okay. I know that I'm going to be a social networking app. I know these things because I've built a strategic plan.
Mhm.
So while I keep saying, yes, this is a project, it started out as a project, but now it's evolved because that's the way I have planned it. I wanted to make sure that we did things strategically. And hey, when I'm saying that we're onboarding the first 50 people, we are moving at the fastest rate you've ever seen. Like if you go into our Discord, which is the communication channel that the NFT space uses to communicate with members in the NFT in their NFT communities, you will see all the announcements and all the things we've accomplished against
Mhm.
what we call a roadmap, which is a strategic plan. So in the NFT platform, when you are a project, you always come up with a roadmap. So that way your holders and members are able to look at it and see what you can go ahead and execute against. And I got to tell you, we're ahead of our roadmap because, again, doing things very strategically and it's very process driven. So we have a
Mhm.
lot of processes behind everything that we do.
Gotcha. So basically in the NFT world, project is basically your brainstorming part of it, right? So if you're ever going to start any other kind of business or you want to take your business into like a brick and mortar, right? You want to be in a store. A lot of times the smart thing to do is to start to sell online to see if there is a proof of concept there, right? If people want to like purchase your stuff. So that's kind of what that is, right? The project is getting everything together. You know, you have a great idea, and until it started to be picked up by everybody, it still could be a project for a long time, right? It could just be a matter of waiting for the right moment.
I agree. So what I believe we're still a project until we go to public mint, and that's when we open up. Again, I know that there's a lot of lingo. So the allow list is basically we have 160 spots where we are onboarding our crypto curious newbies onto the platform, and we sell at a certain uh, price during the allow list stage, no matter how long that takes. And then we go to public mint, and that's a different price. So public mint is when the rest of we go out and say, okay, everyone can have one. But right now, we have an allow list. People have to complete certain things to get on this allow list. They have to be engaged with the community, show up to events online and activities like that. So again, we're in
Gotcha.
that friends and family allow list stage.
So that means so your allow list is basically limited, kind of limited edition. Like you're in the first part of that, the inaugural or the introductory portion of this, right?
Correct.
And so
So
that means those people are the founders, basically helping you get where you're going. Now, when you say public mint, that means that anybody and everybody could buy one of your NFTs and trade and purchase, right? There's not much that has to be done there.
correct. I'm really proud of our community members and the people that have joined our community. They knew that when I was building the project, I told them, you need to hodl, hold on for your dear life. I can't have you trade and sell right now. And they were like, don't worry about it. I believe in what you're doing. And I know because a lot of the web 2 and crypto curious newbies I've been bringing in, again, our friends and family and professionals I've worked with, they've seen what I've done in the corporate world. So they were like, no worries. I will do it until I will hold some people were telling me I will hold it on for 2 years. I will never sell it because I believe in what you do. And it's awesome because the people and members that are coming in, they are trusted friends and family, and they're just doing an amazing job in the community, being engaged and networking. So, super proud of the kind of members we're bringing in. So, no, you cannot just get an everyday Shiro. You have to either contact our COO or be on our list to be able to purchase. It's not an open, not to the public yet.
Yeah, so those people are ones that are so you're only looking right now for people that want to learn, get into the space, and have the drive to succeed there, right? So you're trying to mentor people to help get them into the space, Whereas if it was public, anybody could see it, right? So it would be kind of traded on the network there. So that I think that's the best way to start anything, right? If you really want it, you got to work for it, and if you want to work for it, we'll help you get there. Now there's a cost to get there, but everything costs, right? Whether it's work, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's sacrifice, like everything costs something. And so I think having the ability to mentor and get people there, I mean, that's pretty huge. And it's huge for the people coming into your space, right? I don't, I mean, I don't know how many people research whoever they're going to be working with in that space, but if they were ever to look at your bio, even that you have on your website, just the stuff that you've done, the things that you can teach people, they're not going to learn anywhere else. Like you have a lot of high value experience, especially that women are looking in to get into this arena can learn from. Like you've probably been there and heard a lot and seen things that, were challenging and you had to get through it and you had to like pull up the bootstraps and go, right? Because the beauty space is competitive. To succeed there, you have to be very good. I mean, that's
I
just the bottom line.
this. I'm blown away that you know this because the beauty cosmetic space in the online digital world is absolutely the most competitive space. It costs a lot of money to be a beauty brand when you're buying paid advertising and you are competing all digital in beauty. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail that go to it. And yes, thank
Yeah. I
you
mean,
for all that for this
you're welcome. But you have to think about it. You're competing with all of these people nowadays that are on Instagram and they're on Facebook and they're on Snapchat and now they're going to TikTok and they're throwing things out there and then some are celebrities that own their own makeup line. Other people are using the celebrities makeup line because they know that's going to get them views and people are going to see them and then that makeup's going to blow up. And so it's sometimes very difficult to find a way in that space unless you're creative, unless you have a good message, unless you have that why or the offering to the consumer that makes them kind of stop for a second and go, wait a minute, I really need to look at this one. Otherwise, it just looks like everything that everybody else is doing and you can't tell the difference. So, the digital, anybody that's a digital marketer, today's world that's successful, they're working at it because you have to find a new way and something that people have tried a million things before. It could be newspaper ads or it could be television ads or it could be, uh, radio spots that said the right words, that said the right call to actions, made people listen, it kind of drew you in. But nowadays it's all visual. And if you don't have the right visual behind it, it's not going to happen. And which is bad, but it's also good because that allows people to be creative. So
Agreed, agreed. Yes, agreed. Beauty is highly, highly competitive on TV and e-commerce. And I was able to bring my project lots of experience when it comes to digital transformation because creating the brand, it's basically it's all rooted in the story is inspired by my 80-year-old mother who
mm,
as an immigrant was a forensic scientist and she was able to crack the glass ceiling at a research lab and she grew a network of incredible inspiring women. They were in STEM, they were in the first responder community, they were in the medical field, and bringing to life and honoring incredible women, moms, police women, firefighters, scientists, teachers, farmers, the military, and nurses. They're People don't understand they're the unsung sheroes of the world. And
for
there
sure.
are literally so many of them, and they need to be honored. And they are role models to us. And I really believe that it's important that the core of this project, thematically, it's all about the ladies and beautiful, lovely sheroes wearing these hand drawn heart shaped badges that represent the 50 states from Alabama to Wyoming. Um, when,
Nice.
yeah, when you go
That's
to,
another thing that's interesting. I saw on your site that you said that you represent all 50 states and that that's not, I guess, normal in that space. Is there any reason for that?
yeah, I wanted to be different. I wanted to honor. the Sheroes and the communities they serve. And so they're, instead of just doing NFTs of diverse and gorgeous, ethnically hand drawn, beautiful women, I wanted to make sure that they were rooted in the communities they serve. So, for example, my mom Aurora, she's a scientist, and she was like, "I want to collect all the scientists." She goes, "And I want them from where we lived, California, New Mexico, and Texas." And I was like, "Okay, mom." And then we have like one of uh, a VP, a VP of HR, former VP of HR for a large medical firm. He's also in our community. And he's like, I only want doctors and nurses from New York because that's who I worked with. So everybody has like a community that they're inspired by and also a community they served in. And um, the project, it's for the members are men and women. It's not just women. And I would say right now it's 50-50.
Oh wow. Well, I think that's good that to hear that part because I think that a lot of times today people want to be supported. People want to, get a message out there and things like that. I like that it's a mix for you guys because it shows people out there that, no matter what, like women should be supported no matter what. Like we have um like I run a t-shirt brand and we have one of our shirts is called Strength Behind the Boots. That's the design and all it is a star and it says the saying and the biggest meaning behind that saying it's for every military member that deploys and leaves, and even first responders that go to work every day law enforcement, firefighters, nurses, doctors, corrections officers, EMSs. They're all going to satisfy the oath they took to protect their country and their community. But there's always someone behind them that is that strength, right? So the strength behind the boots just simply means the people that are there that support you. And in my case, it's my wife. And in other cases, it could be their partner, their significant other, their husband. Someone is back there supporting. And so, it's important to remember there's always support there. But I like the fact that you guys are building a community of everybody to support women and show that women can do. It's just like when I was growing up, girls can do anything guys can do. And it's true.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You just got to
So
give them a shot.
the crypto space, I've had again very successful people in Web 2, which is currently the stage we're at. Realtors, HR professionals, CEOs, and I get them online and we start doing the crypto wallet training. And they were like, "This is so scary. I am so glad you're here." They won't even touch their crypto. If they want to buy crypto, they're calling me, "Okay, am I in the right page? Am I doing this?" But they're very,
Wow.
very excited because
Yeah.
they know this is the new world and they want to transition before it becomes mass adoption, which is going to be a few years from now. But again, many brands are already jumping in and testing the waters. But I love that the community members that we're onboarding, they are so open to all the training that sometimes I have to, they're texting me going, "I bought the Bitcoin. What should I do?" And I'm like, "Don't touch it."
Yeah, just hold it. Hold
Yeah,
it. I
huddle
mean, you
it.
can buy a house with Bitcoin now. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, incredible.
It's a very interesting take to see how the world goes nowadays and where it's going, right? Like all those movies that we used to watch, where the future is there and there was no money and there's no, we used to be like, oh yeah, whatever. We're getting there now. Like you can see it coming, like 100%.
It is on its way. It's already
Yeah.
happened,
Yep.
right?
For sure. So I would like you to walk me through a little bit the tie to specifically the charities that you support for first responders and veterans. Is there anything in particular in your life, your family, that has you drawing towards those specific organizations? I love that you're doing that because I'm a veteran. My wife works in the medical field, but is there anything specific? I know that your mom was a scientist, so there's the medical kick right there. So is that what led on to all of that, or is there certain other areas that have helped you get into wanting to support military and first responders?
we'll start with donor.org. I was a former teacher and I
Oh,
thought I was going to end up being a teacher. So love
so you are a
that program.
teacher right now, right?
Yes, I'm back to teaching, I tell everybody. So very, very important to me. Teachers are the first influence that our children have in the outside world next to their mom and dad and their extended family. So that's a very important cause for me. As far as first responders, I grew up around a ton extended family and acquaintances that are first responders in my family. Being half Filipino and half Spanish gets you a lot of extended family, and
Yeah.
so nurses and doctors were in our family tree. I mean, when something happened, my mom would just get me and we would drive to some, like, literally in our neighborhood. We're going to go to Dr. B's house and you're going to get taken care of. And I would be looked after in the living room of an incredible medical professional. And nurses, a lot of Filipinos serve in hospitals as nurses and doctors. So that was super important. And then when it came to Warrior Scholar, I absolutely appreciate everything and yourself, Matt, and what you've done for our country. It means something to me. And also, I have family members, extended family members, who rose rose in the army, and I just watched them as role models growing up, saying to myself, one day I'm going to be not necessarily in the military, but I'm going to be as strong and powerful as these women. And I love everything that they do and what they represent for our country. And then, of course, the Houston Police Foundation. I am based in Houston. I support everything Houston based. I think we were talking about your other specialty, your Project Zero, that I also now
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, that's one more place I love. So super
Yeah.
important for Everyday Sheroe to give back. When we get liquidity, and that's at our 1,000 public mint, we're going to be making charitable donations to donor.org, Warrior Scholar, the First Responders Foundation, the Houston Police Foundation, and also what we've done right now ahead of schedule and ahead of liquidity is we're already investing in aspiring artists in the NFT space because we're in the middle of a crypto winter. I don't know if you're following what's happening in the crypto market, but yeah, Bitcoin is down, Ethereum is down, and we've got these incredible female artists and male artists in the NFT space that are struggling to just survive because people have left the space. And so, what we're doing right now is we're finding key artists that we love, everything that they represent, women and men. And we are literally building a collection of NFTs for Everyday Shiro. I'm very proud. I believe we're already at a little under 10% of our giving has already been achieved, even though we're not at liquidity.
Wow. That speaks to what it should be, in my opinion. I think that a lot of people will always talk about wanting to help others, right? So you walk down the street all the time. You have friends, you have people that you've grown up with, you have people that you just know, and they always tell you, if you ever need anything, let me know. You're like, okay. But it's really weird that 90% of the time, if you try to get a hold of them because you need something, they're not there. And you guys giving, even though you're not at liquidity, which in my mind means not public yet, not trading at that public mint, you're still trying to grow, which means you're probably giving away more than you should to help others. That just means that it's going to come back tenfold in the end because you're not giving the money away because you want people to see that you give away or give away the help. You're doing it because you truly want to help people, and so I applaud you for that. I think that's amazing and great because not a lot of people would do it. A lot of people would wait until they're making a lot of money to give anything away, and the fact that you guys are doing it before says a lot about who you guys are and what you support, and that this is something that's very important and passionate to you guys. What I was saying is that a lot of people would say that they're going to be there to help you, right? They say, if you ever need anything, let me know. I've met a lot of people like that. And I met a lot of people that don't follow through with that. They don't believe in I really do need to help you when you're there. I think that's the culture when you come from a military organization or you're in the first responder world. I'll be there if you need me means something. So, part of that is what we started ours is Got Your Six culture is because every single person in these spaces that work in those realms, they have each other's back all the time. No matter what, if you need something, I'm there. You guys are given pretty much money or opportunities away before you've ever grown. And that means that you really care about what you're doing. That means that the opportunity for artists to learn from you guys, the opportunity for you guys to be involved with the community and helping teachers and helping all of these different organizations is at the heart of what you do. It's not what you want people to see you do. So a lot of people wait till they make a lot of money and then be a charitable donation giver because then it makes me look like a good person. But you guys are doing it before you've ever even really made anything. That speaks more volumes to why you're doing what you're doing than it does to just say that, like, hey, I want to get into this space where I know you can make a lot of money. You're trying to make a difference, and that's very, very appreciated, I'm sure, by many. And people like me that know nothing about this space can really see that that's what you're out to do based off of how we've talked today, what your website looks like, and just the different initiatives that you're doing. You can clearly see that you're in it for the right reason. You're not in it just because you want to do something new.
Absolutely. We love they're called one by one artists from all over the world that create NFT pieces of art, whether it's photography, charcoal drawings, pencil drawings. I cannot stop myself. It's like when you go to this platform called OpenSea, I can buy everything because I want to support all of the artists. And so
Yeah.
I had I met with our chief operating officer, and I basically told her, look, I know that we're not at liquidity, but a lot of these incredible artists are going to leave the space if they don't find success. And so we handpicked artists, I mean, ranging from a project creator that had an autistic daughter. We supported artists in Nigeria. We supported female projects that were just starting. And before we knew it, myself and the COO, we had, and I think it's now in our crypto wallets, we have like 16 to 20 NFTs. So we really went and supported the NFT artists during this time. And we're going to continue to support them because they're so talented. And we support them in other ways too. We hold free social media training on Twitter spaces and teach about TikTok, teach about Instagram. So we help them also build their businesses that way by doing free online training and seminars.
That's the class I need. How to use TikTok. 100%. My son
Oh,
watches it all the time and I'm like how do you make it look like that? Like, these people got a lot of time on their hands.
I actually, for our community, I pick the top three trending songs and I give video examples for the TikTokers in our community. So they just go into our Discord, which again is our communication platform, and they download the PowerPoint and they know what's happening. So that way they can go ahead and keep up with the trends.
That's cool. So it's like an all-in-one. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you guys are just out to help people succeed, right? You've found a lot of success in the things that you've done. You've obviously succeeded at a lot of different levels. I think it's really admirable and inspiring to people that you are now willing to go out on this limb. You don't know if it's going to break or not,
Yeah.
but you bet on yourself to help other people. And that's why I like talking to the many different people that I talk to on the podcast, because I like to talk to people that bet on themselves to show, especially our veterans that are retiring from a career in the military where they're 40, 45, 50 years old, that they don't think they can do something else. There's always something that you can do. You don't have to think that you're only a one, in one arena. Like, if you have interests, if you have things that you just researched and looked at and you're like, that space needs help, like, there's always something that you can do. And I just appreciate talking to people such as yourself that can show everyone that if you have an idea and you believe in yourself, you can make anything happen. It's just like when I was a kid. You can be anything you want to be when you grow up. I don't think that's said enough in today's world. Like you can be anything you want to be when you grow up, but my caveat growing up is you have to work for it. And I think that's the piece that's missing sometimes today is the work portion of it.
Completely agree. I believe as an entrepreneur that nothing's going to be given to you. You have got to just go ahead and put in the time and
Yeah.
effort. Um, One of the things I did to build the community was I went on a personal challenge of doing 100 Twitter spaces in 100 days. And that basically is a form of a podcast, but it's on Twitter. And as of like this afternoon, I'll be on number 91. And that is to
Ooh.
go ahead and deep dive into the NFT space and meet and network amazing people. And through that process, one of my strategic partners is a young man named Andy, also a vet, and he is putting together an incredible, it's called a Web3 design house. It's a digital graphics business that makes logos and memes and branding, and he's incredible, and I wouldn't have found him as a partner if I didn't do this personal challenge of going and networking on 100 Twitter spaces, which is a lot of Twitter spaces in 12 weeks. But yes, I want to go ahead and empower as many people as I can in this platform, whether it's through networking, through speaker events, jobs. I want to do whatever is possible. And also too, we are also having our first speaker, which I would love for you and your wife to come and join us, Matt. It's online. We have a motivational speaker named John Terhune, who will be our first speaker on our platform on August 13th, Saturday at 10:30 a.m. And he is going to go ahead and basically teach us how he has been able to rise in life because he's incredible. Not only an Amazon best-selling author, but also a legal eagle and soon to be a CEO of one of the largest digital agencies in the metaverse.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I would love for you to come.
Oh yeah, I would love to be there just to listen and hear. I love to hear anybody that can talk about what they've done to succeed, right? Sometimes more often than not, people will share their failures with you before they share their success. Because I think a lot of people that are successful understand and realize that in order to succeed, you have to fail. And I just like to hear people just about what was their journey, how did they get there, what are the things that they went to do, how did they approach the different situations? Because you can learn from any of that. You don't just have to be in that particular, space or genre, would you say, of what they're doing. You don't have to be in that industry, but you can learn something from everybody. And so I like to attend as many of those as I can. So we'd be happy to do it. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people don't have the mindset of accepting that failure is success. You gotta
Yeah.
fail and you gotta fail fast. Go go try something. If it's not working, go to the next thing. I mean, really, success is a bunch of it's a lot of steps of failure and a lot of trying. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you've got to shoot your shot.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think a lot of people look at the world today though, like you have this training program that you're doing. You're showing people how to do TikTok and you're showing them how to do other social media channels. But if you think about it as a whole, a lot of people look at YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all these social media platforms nowadays, and they see this 10, 15 second video. It gives people a very unrealistic perception of how easy it is to do that. It's hard. Those people spend hours making these things. And I don't think people realize that. People just in the world today, because everything is so accessible through technology, I think it makes people think things are easier than they really are. And the reality of why I said earlier, you can be anything you want to be, but you got to work for it. I think everybody just thinks they can be what they want to be. They tend to forget that you have to work to get there. They don't realize that to be a YouTube channel person, that's a lot of work. Yeah, they're making money, but they're working. So it's,
No, agreed. A lot of people don't understand that a brand doesn't just begin when you have a logo. There's so many things that go behind it. Everyday Shiro didn't happen in 12 weeks. It happened 9 months ago when I started
right.
formulating and doing the market research and figuring out where can I stand out? Where can I create a meaningful project? I didn't want to just go out there and do digital art. I wanted it to represent something. And again, my entire life, my one of my core values is putting people first. Super important to me. And again, what I love about blockchain and what I love about the NFT space is the transparency of everything. When you join our community, you will see I give you a day-to-day insight of what's happening instead of there are other project creators and other businesses out there where they're not so transparent, but I literally give an update of everything that's happening. And that's why the community continues to grow and they're behind the project because they see that there is a lot of hard work. Like
Yeah.
like we're going to end the month here in a few days. And on the first day of every month, and this will be the second time we're going to be doing it, I actually put together a PowerPoint that shows here this is everything we've done to deliver. And it just blows the members away. They're like, "How did you do all that?" Because they're watching it get built right in front of
Yeah.
them.
Well, you have to have an amazing team and you have to have people that are working together. And I think that's what you're building. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see the progress and how it works. And really, at the end of the day, how many artists are going to come out of their partnership with you to go on to do those great things, right? It's like you're building a springboard to allow people to get into a space, learn how to do a couple of things, and then put their talents to their education and then excel, right? Like it's a mentorship program uh, that you're not going to find anywhere else. You're not, because to your point, a lot of mentorship programs will give you mentorship, but they don't give you everything. Because if I give you everything, then you don't need me, and you don't need to pay me this money anymore to be your mentor. But I think where they miss the boat is they don't do it the way you do it. Like, yeah, knowledge is power. I can give you all the knowledge that you need. I'll give you everything. I'll tell you everything that I do. That doesn't mean that you can go do it right now. You still have to learn how to implement these things and how to do them or how to kind of take a look at them. Just having the knowledge isn't enough. You've got to work to understand it and implement it and, proof of concept to it. And so that's the part where people are staying by you guys, because not only are you giving them the information, you're giving them the ability to go forward and be successful. That's, you don't see a lot of that.
And
I
also
don't anyway.
also too, like to go back to what you're saying about being there for people, we really support each other as a community. When one artist is having a drop or they want to have a Twitter space, we all join, even though yes, we all have family, we all have lives, we all have in real life jobs or what we call IRL. We go and support everybody, and that community feeling that you're a family, like when you come into our Discord, and again, we're still a very small community because I'm curating every member Shiro coming in and making sure that we build a community of like-minded individuals with the same values. um, when you come in, we're joking around. We'd say, "Hey, the last thing that's going on in our Discord the last few days is how my internet has been kind of wonky." So there's been, no kidding, probably 2 dozen memes going back and forth about the joke. But it's like we support each other in a way where, you know, it's not about going out there and saying buy my project. You are buying and getting to know the person, what their values are and how they're going to go ahead and execute against what they're doing. But again, I am surrounded by good human beings with my team that I'm building. and also to the community. They're just wonderful. We have a mental health coach. We've got, again, a husband and wife team, Andy and Ash. Ashley's my brand ambassador. Andy is building an incredible Web3 design business, also a vet. We've got an incredible, I mean, I'm talking three of the top realtors in their region in the state of Texas and also New York. The people that we have coming into the community are so giving, and they're just amazing human beings. We get on Zooms and Twitter spaces, and they're giving advice and giving their time. I mean, Matt, you've never been on a Twitter space, but they can go anywhere from an hour to 7 hours.
I don't have that much time.
Yeah, and like, that is the kind of support they need.
Yeah. But
I'll
that equals to what you're saying though. Like someone like me, I couldn't fathom like being somewhere for that long, but I can fathom being there if it's meaningful and I feel like I'm going to get something out of it and I feel like you have that cohesive unit, that group, that family that you're speaking of. If you have that, then yeah, I could be there for 7 hours. But just to hear it out front, you're like, man, that's a lot of time. But then
It
when
is.
you think about top realtors, top executives, people that have other jobs, like they're given this much time to you, you know how much money they
I
lose
know.
to not be working in those hours, you know?
I know there we have a cocktail hour every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central, which I invite you just to come in. It'll either
Sure.
be it'll either be 2 people, 5 people, or 70 people. We never know who shows up. And I literally have to say, guys, we have to eat dinner. We're in Texas. We're doing this stuff. And it's just
Yeah.
great because people come in and they're like, hey, this is what I've been doing. And we're just building again what I was sharing with you. We want our goal is to be the LinkedIn for the crypto newbies, but in a way where everything is transparent.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Well, I tell you, I appreciate all of your time today because I know that just like the people in your network and the people that you're teaching, you're extremely busy. So to take the time to educate me on NFTs and help me learn more about that, I truly appreciate it. It's very interesting. Your project, your family, Everyday Shiro. I really want to find a way to be involved somehow to help. Not necessarily that I'm gonna, be one of the ones that create anything, but if there's ever anything I can do to help, especially someone that wants to support veterans and first responders in the way that you do, anything I can do to help, we would love to do it from our end because that's the goal and the purpose behind which I like to do a lot of this, the podcast and other things that I'm involved in is I want to get that awareness out and I want people to have resources to get help and I want the veterans and the first responders to get help, in making sure that when they transition out of that life of service, they can then be successful in the next realm too and not have to have that stress of where's that going to come from. So I thank you for everything that you do and the message that you portray and just the way by which you're doing it. Like it's very, very humbling to see. And I appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate everything that you do and also for you serving our country. I love everything your podcast represents. And again, I'm so happy to find out you're in Houston because I
Yeah.
feel like there's going to be synergy and also anything that you're involved with that has to do with charitables. And if there's a way that we can go ahead, if you're having an auction to donate NFTs and introduce this to your community and your family members, let me know. And again, know that you and your wife are invited to our first event, which I'll share with you in a little while. Okay.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it and I am happy to introduce you to who I know, get those people involved, and anything we can do to work together to help first responders, veterans, and anybody that serves others is it's important, and I can't wait to do it. So I always leave off as well. If there's anything that you would like to give anybody listening, maybe a way to contact you, how do they get involved with what you're doing if they're interested? If you want to leave some information like that for everybody, please. And then from there we can wrap it up.
Okay. If you are interested in Everyday Shero, you can either follow us on Twitter, which is really easy. It's Everyday Shero, and Shero is spelled SHE Roe. So Everyday Sheroe on Twitter. You can use the direct messaging function to get a hold of me. Or if you are on desktop or online, you want to go ahead and visit our website. It is everydayshero.io. And again, that's everydayshero.io. You can fill out a contact form. And again, really, those are the two ways to get a hold of us, or join our Discord, which is the third way. And that Discord link is on our Twitter profile at Everyday Shero.
Perfect. Well, Regina, again, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. I hope it's not the last time. I'd love to talk to you guys again, later on when things are moving in the next direction and any of the next initiatives that you have. So hopefully it's not the last time. And yeah, being in Houston, I can't wait to have an opportunity to work with you and help people.
Thank you so much, Matt. This was awesome. Loved all your questions. Love your mission and vision, and so happy to support everything that you're going to be moving forward with in charitable initiatives and anything that has to do with NFTs.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.